Okay, subtracting mixed numbers with borrowing or renaming. Now you and I learned back in elementary subtraction sometimes can't be done. Can you take 9 out of 4 or from 4?
No.
You can't. So you did what was called borrowing. Mathematicians nowadays call it renaming. Well, us old folks, we call it borrowing. We borrow from the 10 side, the 3. It's now a 2. How much are we borrowing?
10.
How much?
1.
10, but really it's just a 1, right? That we bring over to the 4 and turn it into 14, right? Everybody remember doing that?
Yes.
Now I have enough. 9 can subtract out of 14, 5, and then we go with the other number, 2 minus 1 is 1. Now that's the concept of borrowing or renaming, okay? We must do the same thing with fractions. We have to have that same concept in our brain. Okay? I just wanted to show you that to remember, hey, remember how to borrow. Because we do the same thing. Now, I have 1 whole pizza and a 1/4 of a pizza sitting there. I want to take out of this and hand to him, and her 3/4. I want to give him a 1/4, him a 1/4, and her a 1/4. The problem is, I only have 1/4 cut to give. This is a whole pizza over here. How am I going to work this? How am I going to give them, the other 2 people, a 1/4 of a pizza? What do you think, Ron?
Get a pizza cutter.
I got to get a pizza cutter. I got to take my 1 whole and cut it into 4ths so I can grab 2 more 4ths and then I can hand out 3 1/4ths. Agree? That's the concept of borrowing in model form, in pizza form. So, if I do that, if I take my 1 whole pizza and cut it into 4ths, now can I take 3 of those 4ths and hand it out to 3 people? Yes, I can, because I've taken my whole and I've cut it into 4ths. Now, folks, how many 1/4ths do I have over here? I have 5 1/4ths. Agree? So now, can I take from that 3 of those 1/4ths and give them away?
Yes.
Notice it's the same concept as last week and the week before. Denominators are the same. We're subtracting, so we do 5 minus 3 of the numerators. 2 4ths.
Simplify that to 1/2.
Divide by 2, divide by 2. 1/2. So, if I take 3 1/4ths now, and I hand them out to the 3 people I said I'd give them pizza, how much is left over, y'all? A half of a pizza is left over. So it works with the model too, doesn't it? The only thing that changed, y'all, from last week is we started off with something that didn't want to stay on the board. I started off with 1 whole and a 1/4, and I could not take away 3 of these out of there because the 1 whole was not cut up. It's the only thing we're adding to the work last week. We cannot subtract the way it looks right now, so we have to do a little work to change it to where I can do the work. Now, let's look at this. What do we have right here, y'all said? 1 whole and 1/4. Now, how did this turn into that? Brother Hill? Loopy-loop. times 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago. Y'all remember loopy-loop?
Yes, sir.
Loop times loop plus. Changing mixed numbers to fractions, to improper fractions. Remember me doing that about the 2nd week of school? Remember doing that? Ooh, it comes back to haunt us, doesn't it? Or it comes back to help us in this case, right? So a simple concept we learned 7 weeks ago, we now have to use again to help us subtract fractions. Now, this is all model form. How about we just get some steps and work these faster instead of having to take pizzas and cut them up, right? All right, so let's learn the how-to. Let's learn the how-to. All righty? Let me erase this and this, and let's get rolling. Black, blue, green, red, red. All right, here we go. How-to. Here's our example that we're going to work as we do that. Okay?
Orange Crush.
Hi, Lindsay. Subtracting mixed numbers with renaming. There we go. How to. I'm all lost now. Forgot where I was. How to.
How to.
Notice I've got it horizontal and I've got it stacked. Right? Because some of y'all like horizontal and some of you like stacked. I like stacked. I like stacked. So, number 1. What do we got to do? What do we look at first? Nope.
Denom.
The denoms. Why?
To make sure that it's the same difference.
Make sure they same, right? Make sure they're the same. We gotta make sure they're the same. And try to subtract. Because sometimes, especially at the end of this week when we have a test, when we have them all mixed up, sometimes they'll go ahead and subtract, right? So we look at our example, 3 1/3 minus 1 2/3. I've got 1/3 of a pizza hanging there, but I got to hand out 2/3, 2 1/3. Is it possible? Not possible. I'm going to have to do what? Take a whole pizza, cut it, so I'll have enough pieces to hand out, right? So I got to borrow from another whole pizza. So, what did we do in our long subtraction we learned in elementary? When we borrowed? We crossed something out from the whole, right? So, step 2, what do you think we're going to do? Borrow 1 whole from the whole number. Could let Lindsay and Jurgen come up here and teach the class, and they can be on the video on the computer.
Sure.
Borrow 1 whole from the whole number. So I'm going to borrow, I got 3 pizzas hanging there, so I'm going to borrow from the 3 pizzas. And how much did I borrow? 1 whole is what I'm going to cut up, right? I'm going to do this one at the same time, the stacked one. I'm going to borrow from the 3 whole pizzas, and I'm going to borrow 1 of the pizzas and put it over and cut it in just a minute. I'm going to put it next to my other one. Now, how many whole pizzas do I still have sitting there?
2.
Still got 2 wholes sitting there, don't I? You want to see it in picture form? Okay. Here's our 3 pizzas. Oh, I got to do a peace sign so I can have me a 3rd sitting there. There we go. So I'm sitting with 3 whole pizzas and a 3rd. And I'm going to take one of these and put it with the 1/3. So I still have 2 wholes sitting there, correct? Go with me on the picture. I'm trying to make it brand new stuff today. Ooh, dog. Step 3. What do we have to do to that 1 1/3?
Cut it up.
I got to take that one whole, cut it into thirds, right? We call it what? Loopy loop. The mix number to get a new fract. We're going to loopy loop. That's a Jordanism, remember? We're going to loopy loop to get us a new fract. So loop times loop plus. What do y'all got?
1 times 3.
3 plus 1?
4.
4 over. You leaving?
No.
Oh, okay. Looks like she's leaving me. She walked out.
I went to the restroom.
Oh, maybe that's right.
Hey, Coach Jordan.
4/3, right? 4/3. 4/3. Loopy loop here is the same thing, so off to the side I've got 4/3. So, we cut this bad boy up. Now we got 4 1/3, don't we?
Yes, sir.
Now, can I take 2 of those 1/3 and hand them out? Sure can. So, 4/3 minus 2/3. 2/3. Do we all agree it equals 2/3? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. So down here, 4/3 minus 2/3 is 2/3. Agree?
No.
Isn't that what we did the other day? We messed with the fractions and ignored the whole numbers, right?
Yes, but then last you have to add the whole numbers when you're done.
All right. So okay. So what did we just do? Now, subtract the fracts. That's what we just did. Now we're putting it in words. Now subtract the fracts. Now subtract the fracts. Now subtract the fracts. Where'd I lose you?
And the part where you did borrowing.
Okay? Which part?
The horizontal one or the,
Okay.
yeah, that one.
Okay.
On where you put the 1 down and then you put a 2 down.
He marked out the 2. Up there.
No, you marked out a 3 and put a 2 and put a 1.
Four big enough?
Yeah, that's long division. I know how to do
No,
that.
no. Is it big enough?
No.
No. Is this big enough? So I can subtract. Can you go 1 minus 2?
No. Yes.
Can you go 1 minus 2?
Yes.
No, sir, you cannot. If I have 1 penny in my hand, I cannot hand out 2 pennies. All right, can't switch it. I got 1 penny in my hand, okay? All right. So, that's why I had to borrow, like that there, and I borrowed the 1, and put the 1. Like I said, we're dealing with fractions, not whole numbers now.
Well, I know how to do all that, but like I don't see where you marked out the 3 and put 2 and then put another 1.
Okay, I now have 2 and 1 1/3, correct?
Oh, so you have
Right, yes or no?
Yes. So
I just took that out. What is 2 plus 1 1/3?
3 and 1/3.
That's what I started off with. It's still the same thing, it just looks different. I split it up so I could use one part of it to turn it into a fraction.
Oh, okay.
That's why. You got me now?
Coach,
Sweet.
Coach,
Great, great.
it's 4:30.
Okay, kill it.